Okay, so these power reducing formulas are actually really important when you get to the second calculus class. Remember, this is called pre-calculus. All of what we learn in here is something that you'll eventually need in calculus, whether it's the first, second, or third year of calculus. But so all of these are power reducing. So you're going to see sine squared, and then I don't want the power anymore, so it's a formula to rewrite sine squared so there's no power attached to sine. So here's the formula for sine squared u. You'll notice cosine squared u looks very similar. The only difference is there's addition instead of subtraction. And then, last but not least, we have our tangent power reducing formula. We know that tangent is the same thing as sine over cosine, which is how we get this formula to be what it is. So technically all you would need is the sine squared and cosine squared, but might as well have the tangent squared also. Okay. So the only thing that I'm going to ask you to do with these formulas is to take an expression, and what your instructions will be is to write it so there's no longer a power. Okay. So this is our example. We have sine to the fourth x, and I want us to rewrite it in terms of first powers of cosines. Okay. Whether you copy down those entire instructions or not, you can just write sine to the fourth x. But these are going to be your instructions in your book, and then the one problem that you have on your test. But you're going to be given an expression of some trig function that has a power, and you know when you are done when there are no longer powers in your expression. Okay? So did we have a formula for sine to the fourth of x? No. We have formulas for sine squared. So I'm going to rewrite sine to the fourth as sine squared x times sine squared x, so we can use our power reducing formula. Okay. Caden, read off the sine squared power reducing formula.
1 minus cosine 2x over 2.
Oh, thank you for adjusting to the x. So each of these get rewritten as 1 minus cosine of 2x over 2. Okay. Well, now we actually have to multiply this together. Okay. So what I'm going to do, what's our denominator? When we multiply, our denominator is 4, right? So just so that we don't have like this big crazy fraction, I'm actually going to write 1/4 out in front. Okay, so that we don't have to like have this like big long denominator with a 4 underneath of it. Okay, so 4 is our denominator. I'm just going to pull it out in front. So now we can just FOIL this out. Okay, so we have 1 times 1. 1 times negative cosine of 2x. Negative cosine of 2x times 1, so we end up getting 2 of those. Then we're taking negative cosine of x times negative cosine of x. So we're getting a positive cosine squared of 2x. The cosines multiply together. The angle stays the same. That's the only reason why we can multiply the cosines together. Do we have cosines with only powers to 1? Then we are not finished. Okay? We have this cosine squared right here that we need to change. Okay? So what we have is 1/4 times 1 minus cosine of 2x. Cosine squared of 2x, the power reducing formula for cosine squared is 1 plus cosine of 2u. If we're applying the formula to this, if we're going from u to 2u, what does our angle become inside of this? 4x. We have to double it. Okay. Now, we've done everything we need to do. We just now need to make it look pretty. Nope, it's 4x. I'll rewrite it so it looks a little bit better. So, what we need to maybe do is break this apart to 1/2 plus 1/2 cosine of 4x, because we are going to be able to combine 1 and 1/2 together. Okay, so I took that fraction and broke it apart. And what is 1 plus 1/2? 3/2.
What is the second 1/2? Oh, the one.
They both are over 2, so we have to keep both of them over 2 when we break it apart. So we have 1/4 times 3/2 minus 2 cosine of 2x plus 1/2 cosine of 4x. So we just added 1 and 1/2 together. Okay, then at this point, now we can worry about that 1/4, okay, that we decided to just leave off to the side. So at this point, we're just going to take the 1/4 all the way through. Okay, so we have 3/8 minus 1/2 cosine of 2x plus 1/8 cosine of 4x. Okay. The back of the book, when you go to check your answers, they're going to factor out a 1/8. You don't need to do that. You can just leave it like that for me. I'll be fine. So right here, I took 1 divided by 2 plus cosine of 4x divided by 2. I just took that fraction and I broke it apart. Oh, 1 plus 1/2 is 3/2. So the angles have to stay the same. It's only the coefficients that we get to divide. Okay. So you have 4 problems for your homework. What I'd like you to do right now is get started on those. What I would like is for you to at least get 2 of them done before we start talking about the quizzes from Friday and the review for our test. If you get 1 done, that's great, but I would love for you to get 2 finished. So, whether you take the picture of the book or open a book from my shelf, Page 389, you have 4 problems for your homework.
So, if we look at this right here, you see how this is U and this is 2U. Okay. So whatever this